welcome back to Pixie Does Mom. We're all about planning Disney trips and talking about Disney and stuff like that over here. So if you are interested in that and want to hang around and join us, just hit that subscribe button. And if you like Disney videos and want to see more Disney vacation planning tips, hit the little like thing. To like this video. So today we're going to talk about MagicBands and what they are and what you can do with them and how they make your life a little bit easier when you're at Walt Disney World. So I love MagicBands. I have a nice little collection. I do opt for the upgraded character ones. Before they offered those, I usually bought me and my girls a character one anyway, because I like to have a couple different ones to wear when we're down there at the parks. So on today's video, we are going to talk about what you can do with your MagicBands. So first of all, a MagicBand, here's just a basic gray one. My husband always just gets the gray. They look like this. They are solid color unless you get a character, and I'll show you some of those in a minute. And they come with this extra dark gray, and all of them, whatever color you get, this little extra piece will be dark gray. But they come with that, and you snap them on your arm, and there is an RFID chip inside that it's a radio frequency that you can scan and do some different things with. So that's what we're going to talk about. So you can, this gray piece is removable if you don't have a large wrist, and I don't have a large wrist, so I take mine off. So here is my Moana band, and it obviously does not have that gray strip. So if you line it up, it still has, I mean, the inside's the same, but it doesn't have that because my wrists are small enough, I don't need it. And then my daughters, I take theirs off too, because obviously their wrists are smaller than mine. So anyway, so a MagicBand is something you wear. So the first thing you can do with your MagicBand is open your room to your hotel room if you're staying on property. So if you are staying at a Disney resort, whether it's a room only or a package, whatever, if you are staying at a Disney resort and you have booked it, you will get a complimentary solid color band. Now the colors that are available for the solid colors are the gray. And if you don't choose a band, when you check in, they will just give you a gray band. That's kind of the standard default color. There's also red and orange and yellow and blue and green, pink and purple. I think that's it. So you have, those are complimentary, or, if you want, you can buy the solid color ones. I think the last time I looked, I think they were like $14 maybe. 12 or 14, I can't remember. Obviously I don't buy solid color ones myself. So you can open your room with it. So all the rooms have the little scan things, and you just scan it because you can do online check-in, and then they will text you your room number, and you can go straight to your room, and you never have to go to check-in if you don't want to. They also have your tickets loaded onto them to get into the parks. So when you are going to any of the theme parks or water park, you will go through an entrance, obviously, and they have scanners. And when you go into the park, you have to scan your MagicBand, and you have to fingerprint. So make sure, and we have trouble with this every time I go, because I never can get a hang on which finger I've used, and then my children have issues with it too. So anyway, so you scan your band, and you have to scan your fingerprint, and you have to use the same finger every time in the same, like, it can't be sideways or anything, or you'll have trouble. So just make sure you remember what finger you use if you have multiple day tickets, because every time you go into a park you have to do that again, and then if it doesn't work then they have to call somebody over and they take care of it, but it would go faster if it turns green. If it turns blue, you have to wait. The other thing you do, you have to have them to use your fast passes. So when you go to an attraction that you have a fast pass for, the standby, if you're going through the standby queue, you don't have to scan anything. But if you have a fast pass and you go through the fast pass queue, you do have to scan your MagicBand, and it will show up on their little screen that you do have a fast pass. Another thing you can do with your MagicBand is charge purchases and meals and things like that to it. So when you set up your My Disney experience, or when you do your online check-in, or when you check in at the resort, you can put a credit card or debit card on your account and put in have a PIN number, and so you can use your MagicBand when you check out, when you're dining or at a retail location, and you can scan your MagicBand and punch in your PIN number. Now if you lose your MagicBand, nobody else can do that if they don't know your PIN number, so don't write your PIN number on your MagicBand. That would not be smart. But anyway, and you can deactivate the MagicBand too if you lose it in your My Disney experience. So you can also use your MagicBand to use your dining plan credits. So if you have a Disney dining plan, when you're done eating and your check comes, the cast member, your server, has a scanner and can scan your MagicBand, and you just tell them what credits you want to deduct from your dining plan for your meal. So they have your dining plan loaded onto them too. And then also Memory Maker and PhotoPass. So if you are meeting characters or in a PhotoPass location, the camera person will scan your MagicBand, and that's what loads it onto your My Disney Experience app so that you can see all the pictures. So when I do that though, I always try to make sure that I load them onto, as long as I'm there, then I load them onto just one of the MagicBands. We don't scan like all the different bands. I don't know if that's an issue or anything, but I always scan it onto mine, just so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, so how do I get a MagicBand? Those are all the things you can do with it. Also, these are waterproof, so if you want to get in the shower with them, if you're going to the pool, you wear your MagicBand. That way you've got your room key and you're not having to worry about it. So you can wear your MagicBands into the pool because they are waterproof. So how do I get a MagicBand? They do come complimentary, the solid color ones, with your resort reservation. So you do get free MagicBands for staying at a Disney resort. And you can customize them on the inside of the puck, like on the back side of this. I usually put our names on them. You can put a nickname, you can put numbers, it's got to be numbers or letters. But you can put them on the back, and then that way, like if two of us have a pink band, they'll have our names on the inside. We've not done that yet, but anyway, we always tend to get different colors. But you can customize them. Make sure you customize them, ahead of time, so that way they have time to get to you before your trip. If you don't customize them, you can customize up to a certain point, and they will be ready for you at your resort if they don't have time to ship to you. But if you get past that date, I think it's 5 days before, if you do them at least 11 days before, I think they'll ship them, maybe. But if you do them, if you get even closer to that, then you can pick them up at the resort. But if you're within like 5 days, then you just get the gray one. So if you live in the United States, they will ship to you. They usually ship them 2 to 4 weeks ahead of your trip. And if you are outside of the US, then you will pick them up at the resort when you check in. These do have a battery in them, but there's only certain things that need the battery. So I'm not sure how long they'll last. The general rule is people are saying like 2 years the battery lasts. But the RFID, obviously it doesn't have a battery, so I don't know. Once you assign these, so if like I bought this off of Shop Disney, and so when I got it, I went into my Disney experience to my account, and it'll have tickets and MagicBands, and so you can link this. There's a 12-digit code on the back of these, and so you just type that in and it links this band to you specifically. So my daughter can't use this, my husband can't use this, nobody can use this but me because it's linked to my account. So you cannot transfer these between people. If you plan a split stay, so if you stay like 2 nights at Pop Century, and then you go to Riverside for 2 nights, and then you go to Polynesian for 2 nights, then you can get a band for each of those resort stays. You can also just get one for the first one and decline the other 2 if you don't want 3 different MagicBands to have to keep up with. It's up to you. So that is an option, and I will be doing a video later on split stays. I'm just trying to get some of the basics in first. Another thing, if you are flying into Orlando and you are taking Magical Express from the Orlando airport to your Disney hotel, you have your MagicBands out because you can scan them. Now obviously if you're from out of the country, you're not going to have your MagicBand, and that's fine. But you kind of get through a little bit quicker if you do. If you already have your MagicBand, go ahead and have it out and be ready to scan, and then that way the process kind of goes a little bit easier. If you lose your MagicBand, if you're in the park, and my youngest did lose hers on our last trip, on the last day we were there, she lost it. And so I just went quickly into my Disney experience, went to her name and her MagicBands, and I just deactivated hers. So that way, if anybody found it or anything, it was useless to them. We had one Fast Pass left on it for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, so I definitely didn't want anybody to pick that one up. But we did go by guest services, and they did replace it. It was a solid color purple, and they gave her back a purple one. I've heard that sometimes they just give you a gray one if they replace it, but they asked me what color I wanted, so I just replaced it with the same color. So you can deactivate it yourself in my Disney experience, or you can go to guest services and they will deactivate it for you. So either way, it was just quicker for me. I was in line, and my mom had my youngest at a different ride, and so obviously it was going to be a little bit before I could get to guest services at the front of the park. So I just did it in my phone. But always check with guest services too if you want it replaced, because sometimes they will, I guess. I don't know of any instances that they haven't, but maybe they don't sometimes. But they did for us. So, MagicBands. So we have, for our last trip, I had the Moana and Maui. There's Maui, love Maui. So this one was mine. And then my oldest got Vanellope. She loves Vanellope. And then my youngest is a very big Groot fan. So she got Groot, that's not doing, and Rocket. So she got those. So those were for our last trip. And then after we did that one, they started doing the upgraded bands. So I have 2 trips planned for the spring. One is a solo trip for work. It's a training trip for Disney travel planners. So anyway, for it, when you order your MagicBands, if everyone in your group gets if everybody in your group gets a solid color band, then they will ship 2 to 4 weeks before your trip. If anyone in your group gets an upgraded character band, then they will ship, I think, within like 3 to 7 days. So I already have all of our MagicBands. I have a solo trip in March, and then our family trip is in May. So they come in just a plain box, plain white box with a label on them. Okay. So the label, it comes from Experience Connection Center. So it doesn't say anything about Disney on it. It's not from Orlando, Florida. There's nothing that says this has anything to do with Disney. It is just a solid yellow box, or a solid white box. So this is the one that has 1 band, and this is my box that has 4 bands. So you can kind of see the difference. So in my single box, I have this one, and it's Tinkerbell. It's like the peachy Tinkerbell box. So it just has the one in the middle. And then there's like cutouts where they could put 3 in this size box. And then this one, when you open it up, has 4 bands. So I got the Small World. My niece is going with me, and she got the red Minnie Mouse one. My youngest got Fancy Nancy, and my oldest got Captain Marvel. So, and our names are on here, like they are on the, how I customize them. So this box can hold 5 bands. And in this box also came our luggage tags. Yes, our luggage tags came with these, and our Magical Extras card came. So all of this came in our, and the luggage tag straps are inside of the little thing that holds the MagicBands. Now I think that's all. But when you order them, if anybody in your group orders upgraded bands, they will go ahead and ship those to you. If everybody just orders the solid ones, then they won't ship till 2 to 4 weeks before your trip. So if you have any questions on MagicBands, or know anything about when they die and don't work anymore, because I would love to know that, because none of mine have not worked to this point. So anyway, if you have any more questions about MagicBands, please leave them in the comments, or you're more than welcome to email me personally. And I think this is about it. So thanks for watching. Again, like, subscribe to see more Disney planning tips. Thanks.